The devourer has lived inside of me since I was very, very small. I don't know how it got there. I don't think it was my fault. I may have inherited it, or it may have just stumbled out of the ground and I stumbled upon it. Maybe one day when I scraped my knee, and maybe it got into a little scrape like the kind you get when you're trying to rollerblade and you're horrible at it and you're falling all over the place. Maybe that's how it got in. It doesn't have a gender, not one that I've ever seen before, but I know its texture. It exists only in a texture, and then sometimes it exists in a voice. It has inhibited me. It has held me tightly. It has gripped onto my bones so that I'm gripping onto my own bones, and it has stopped me from looking into the eyes of others. The devourer eats everything that I eat and more. I was never full. I could never feel fully full. It didn't matter what I ate. It didn't matter how still I stayed. Everything burned straight off of me, and people would say, "You're so lucky. How are you so skinny? I wish I could eat that much," as I binged and binged and binged and never purged, but never gained any weight, never gained any muscle, never gained any sustenance. I was unsustained because something was eating me from within, and no matter what doctor I went to or what went on, they didn't find any sort of diagnosis. This was just luck. "You're so lucky," everyone would say. They didn't understand. As a child, I would find myself at the fridge eating entire sticks of butter, and my parents would take me back to the doctor and say, "There's got to be something going on." Blood test upon blood test upon blood test, until they decided that it was psychiatric, but they couldn't fix that either. I knew what it was. I knew it was the devourer. I had heard its voice in my sleep. It was the only voice I ever knew in my dreams. And it was comforting. It was a strangely comforting feeling to know that every single night, the devourer would eat away at me, and I would give of my body away and away and away and away. I felt like a series of toothpicks piled up on top of itself, and I felt like my ankles could barely hold me, and yet I could run, I could climb, I could fight, because the devourer had a fighting instinct. It wanted to devour the world around me, and it started to. I watched it devour others. The first time I was ever with someone romantically, the devourer bit her lip. It wasn't me, it was it. And I licked the blood, and the devourer seemed to take over all of my body. The devourer seemed to make me grow. And then I stopped kissing, and I wouldn't kiss, and I didn't want to kiss, and I never wanted to kiss again because it terrified me. It terrified me that this thing would be thirsty for blood. And it began to mock me in my dreams. The voice of the devourer would come in and say, "Oh, darling, you know you can give me more, and maybe I'll give back to you if I'm finally full. Oh, darling, I'm not an endless black hole. You just haven't tried to feed me properly. Oh, darling, don't you know you want to kiss her mouth? Oh, darling, don't you know you want to put your face close to his?" "No," I said. I told it no. I don't know how I kept any of my friends. I don't know how I kept anyone loving me. I don't remember any positive traits about who I was. I just knew that I wanted to connect with people without them ever finding out that the devourer was in charge of everything, that it was my responsibility to keep this monster in the basement of my heart, to keep this monster in the bowels of me, and it took every bit of me to do so. And then one day, the devourer started speaking to me while I was awake. "Hello," it said. Feed me, it said. I need love, it said. I snapped at it and I said, you don't know what love is, and I don't know what love is because of you. So how could I possibly give you anything? Feed me, it said. What do you want? I said. More, it said. Well, what more? What more can I give you? Bowls and bowls and bowls of pasta, meat. We've had raw meat. We've had cooked meat. I've eaten the flesh of every single animal I could ever imagine. I've tried everything to feed you. I've tried sugar. I've tried everything. I love it. That's love, said the devourer. That's what I love when you do that. But you're never full, I said. You're never full. You're never complete. Why? How? I've eaten everything but the blood, it said. I'm not giving you human blood, I told it. I won't become a vampire person. I'm not going to play by that set of rules. There's got to be something else I can give you. No, said the devourer. I just want a little bit. And I said, no, you never have a little bit of anything. You always want more, and you always make me want more, and there is no way you'll ever be satiated, and I know it. I know you. Try, it said. Please try. Please try. Please try. Please try. Please try. That's what began to loop in my body, loop in my gut, loop in my heart, loop in my mind. Please try. Please try. Please try. Please keep trying. Until I didn't have any thoughts of my own anymore. And please try finally came up. And I wasn't my own instincts anymore. None of the controls were there. I was letting go in every single part of me. All the walls were melting in the face of the devourers. Please try. Please try. Please try. I had no more willpower left, and I seemed to melt. I melted within myself. All of the cages I'd built within my own bones to hold this thing were gone, molten inside of me. You're so lucky. You're so skinny. You eat whatever you want. Have a second piece of cake. It's totally fine. My cousin, her wedding, the bridal shower. Disgusting. I ate so much. I ate a second piece of cake. I ate a third piece of cake. And she seemed to revel in the fact that maybe finally, I'd get fat. And maybe finally, she would be the thinnest in the room because that was a value of hers. Have more cake. Have more cake. Just have more cake. You're so skinny. You can have whatever you want. Oh my God. It would be great if you got to a larger size. And then next week when we try on the bridesmaid dresses, you will be a size bigger. Imagine you would look so healthy and full. Maybe I would. Maybe I would finally look healthy and full. And the chocolate cake was so rich and moist. And I felt the devourer saying, yes, keep trying. Keep trying. Keep trying. And I kept trying and trying and trying and trying. And yet nothing gave me energy. The only thing that gave me energy was the hunger of the devourer, which was never, ever, ever, ever satisfied. The next week came. And we had to try on the dresses for the bridal party. And I was standing there in this oversized purple fucking thing. And somebody was putting pins in it so that it would fit me perfectly. And all the girls were gathered round talking about my body. Oh, your arms are like spaghettis. They're so cute. You're just so cute. Aw, you're so tiny and cute. And I was infuriated inside as the devourer said, these are what I want. You know you want to devour these. You know you can give me at least a few of these. I ripped off the purple taffeta. I ripped it into pieces and threw it at the women, who were all gasping as if they'd never seen any kind of madness before, which is totally untrue because madness is life. And I'm sure there are devourers of their own kinds in all of their own heads. So their shock came out of a strange performative, "Oh my God, you ruined the thing." I kept ripping the taffeta and ripping the taffeta and ripping the taffeta, and then I started to eat this fabric. I started to eat this purple fabric, and I ate it, and I ate it, and I chewed it, and I chewed it, and they were all trying to stop me. "Oh, stop!" And they're nurturing, and nurturing came in this sort of performative nurturing, each of them trying to outshine one another at how loving they could be to the poor girl who is going crazy. And as they got closer and closer, I felt hungrier and hungrier, and "Please try, please try, please try," said the devourer within my gut, and I put my fingers into one of their necks and I ripped. And the blood went everywhere, and the women scattered, and I began to eat, and everything else was a frenzy. It was a frenzy of madness. They ran. I followed, and none of them got out of the shop. None of them got out of the shop, and we devoured and devoured and devoured and devoured. No part of me felt regret. No part of me felt resistance. No part of me felt guilt or shame to eat. And as I chewed on the final bone of the leg of a future bridesmaid, I smiled. The devourer's voice came out. "Hello," it said, "thank you." And I told it that I tricked it. And it said, "No, you can never trick me. You've just filled me." I said, "I tricked you." It said, "No, you can never trick me. You can never, ever trick me. I will always be with you. I will always be with you." And I said, "Yes, but you're full now." "Yes, I am full. I'm happier than I've ever been. I feel loved," said the devourer. "Yes, I did this for you, to love you, to fill you. And now you can put meat back on my bones, please." I looked within myself and saw the devourer fat and piled on itself. And I seemed to reach down within the lantern of my guts and pull flesh from within myself. My mind's eye saw it gathering on my bones, building muscle, building strength, building solidity. And from that solidity, I put my arms out toward the piles of bones and blood that I had just devoured. And I reconstructed each of the bridesmaids and the bride-to-be. I reconstructed them from the bits of their blood on the ground. I brought them back. I brought them back because I can put meat on my own bones, and I can put meat on any kind of bones. And the devourer's voice was silent. "This is my magic," I said, and each of the women looked at me dazed, for I'd put them back together in a strange way, each of them with parts of each other re-scrambled, new personalities, stranger, newer bodies. They looked at their hands in fascination, not sure which part of their identity to identify with. One woman had another woman's hand. One woman had another woman's desire for chocolate. One woman had another woman's love for the man she was about to marry. And jumbled up, devoured, and reassembled, they all looked at me. "What are we? Tell us what to do." I stood naked, feet still bloody. "I am the devourer now. I am the builder, and I am the destroyer, and I make things in the form they arise, whether they like it or not. I devour when I need to devour, and I build when I need to build. And it never comes out the way it was before it was broken. It comes out new. It comes out beautiful in its own new way, only to be devoured by another devourer and rebuilt once again. The wedding was glorious. The wedding was jumbled and strange. The wedding was a feast for me. And at the wedding, I taught the girls how to become devourers themselves.